Before you check your phone, before you scroll through bad news, before you let the world define your worth, you better learn how to talk to yourself. Because if you don't speak over your day will speak over you. I came to tell somebody this morning, your mouth is your weapon and your words are your strategy. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. And some of us are losing battles not because of the devil, but because of our own self-talk. This. Every single day you get dressed in clothes, but do you get dressed in truth? You got to wake up and tell yourself something before the world tells you everything you're not. You got to declare not just what you see, but what God said. So today I'm not just giving you inspiration. I'm giving you a spiritual survival kit. I'm giving you 12 things to tell what success is. You stop comparing your progress to someone else's highlight reel. Instead, you begin to measure your life by the impact you make, by the lives you touch, by the faithfulness you show in the small things. Purpose anchors you in truth when the storms rage around you. It reminds you that you are not here by accident. You're here on assignment. So every morning, you've got to remind yourself, I am walking in purpose, not just routine. You've got to speak it out loud until you believe it deep down in your soul. Because routine will make you feel tired and uninspired. Routine will wear you down, but purpose will ignite a fire in your heart and set your feet on a path of meaning and fulfillment. Purpose is what will get you up on the days you want to stay in bed. It's what will push you forward. When they walk around dressed in opinions that don't even fit your spirit, you'll shrink to survive. When you were born to stand in authority. So you've got to open your mouth and remind your mind, I am not what they called me. I am who he created me to be. See, this is more than just positive thinking. This is about identity, and you can walk in power if you don't know who you are. When you wake up and look in that mirror, you're not just brushing your hair, you're brushing off the lies. You're not just washing your face, you're washing off the residue of rejection. You're not just tying your shoes, you're preparing to walk into purpose. That reflection looking back at you is not an accident. You didn't sneak into existence. You were crafted, called, and confirmed by the Creator himself. You weren't born to blend in. You weren't to serve you. And the strength to say yes to what moves you closer to your destiny. Some mornings, you might feel like your purpose is hidden or out of reach. Maybe you're stuck in a job you don't love or a relationship that drains you. Maybe you're carrying regrets or burdens that make it hard to believe in a better tomorrow. But I want you to hear this. Purpose is not always about doing something big and flashy. Sometimes it's in the small, quiet moments where you show up faithfully, where you choose kindness over bitterness, where you press forward even when it's hard. Purpose is a journey, not just a destination. And every step you take, even the uncertain ones, is moving you closer to the person you were created to be. When you align with your purpose, your mindset shifts. You stop measuring success by what the world itself every morning, so that when life shakes you, you're still standing. When hell breaks loose, you don't break down. When people walk out, you don't fall apart. Lean in. Take this personal, because these next few words might just change how you walk through every room, how you fight every battle, and how you love yourself through every storm. You see, the first thing you've got to tell yourself every single morning, before you brush your teeth, before you sip your coffee, before you start scrolling through what everybody else is doing, is this: I am who God says I am. Because if you don't tell yourself that, you will spend your whole life trying to live up to what they said, what your father didn't say, what your ex criticized, what your boss overlooked, what your insecurities whispered in the dark. You, inside of you, wants to quit. And here's the thing about purpose. It doesn't always look like what you thought it would. It might not come with a loud announcement or a big celebration. Sometimes purpose shows up as perseverance. Sometimes it's just putting one foot in front of the other, even when the road is hard. Sometimes purpose is learning to love yourself enough to keep trying, to keep believing, to keep growing. Don't let the world convince you that purpose has to look perfect. Purpose is messy, it's challenging, but it's also powerful. You were designed for more than survival. You were created to thrive, to flourish, to live a life that leaves a legacy. And that begins with embracing your purpose every morning. Align your thoughts, your words, your actions with the truth that you are on a path designed by God. Ought to be a carbon copy. There's only one of you in the entire timeline of eternity. Nobody has your fingerprint. Nobody carries your assignment. That means your presence is not just wanted, it's needed. And when the enemy knows you're valuable, that's when the attack comes. That's why doubt creeps in. That's why comparison starts rising. That's why you can be blessed and still feel broken. Because the enemy knows if you ever realize who you really are, if you ever walk like you know what's inside of you, if you ever speak like you've been touched by heaven, nothing can stop you. So before your feet hit the floor, you've got to say it out loud. I am who God says I am. I'm not my mistakes. I'm not my trauma. I'm not my circumstance. I'm not the labels they gave me in a broken moment. I am redeemed. I am chosen. Self. When you do that, you'll find peace in the process, joy in the journey, and strength for the climb. So this morning, before you get caught up in the noise, the distractions, the pressures, stop for a moment and remind yourself, I'm walking in purpose, not just routine. Let that be the anthem of your day, the foundation of your faith, and the fuel for your future. I'm walking in purpose, not just routine. I am loved. I am powerful. I am anointed. I am on assignment. I am not random. I am relevant. I am lost. I am led. I'm not broken. I'm becoming. And even when I don't feel like it, even when the mirror don't reflect it, even when people don't recognize it, it doesn't change the fact that God said it. And if God said it, I've got to believe it. Even when the devil is loud, I've got to remember that heaven has the final word. Even when my bank account says one thing, God says I'm still provided for. Even my emotions betray me, his truth will still hold me. Let me tell you something. Life will lie to you. Pain will lie to you. Social media will lie to you. Your past will lie to you. But you've got to confront every lie with truth. You've got to be willing to say, I don't care what I feel, I know what I believe. And I believe that I was created in his image. I believe that my life has value. I believe that I have something to offer. I believe that I carry something this world needs. Every morning, you've got to build your identity from the inside out. Not based on applause, not based on acceptance, not based on Instagram likes. Because if the world gives it, the world can take it. But when God gives it, when God calls you by name, when God defines your worth, nothing can snatch that from you. And I know some of you have been through so much, it's hard to believe it. You've been overlooked, abused, passed over, underestimated. But can I tell you something? That doesn't disqualify you. It qualifies you. It's the pain that makes you powerful. It's the struggle that gives you substance. God uses the broken places to birth your boldness. So when you look in the mirror and speak over yourself, don't just say it like it's poetry. Say it like it's war. Say it like your destiny depends on it. Say it like you're breaking every generational curse that said you wouldn't make it. Because when you know who you are, you stop needing validation. You stop chasing approval. You stop walking in rooms wondering if you belong. You walk in like you are sent. You stop apologizing for your light. You stop dumbing down your brilliance. You stop second guessing your voice. When you know who you are, even hell has to back up. So before you do anything else, tomorrow morning and the morning after that and the one after that, just stand still. Lift your head and declare it with every ounce of belief you've got. I am who God says I am. Now, once you've reminded yourself who you are, the next thing you got to do every single morning is tell your day who's in charge. Don't just stumble out of bed dragging your feet like you're defeated before the fight even starts. Don't let your schedule lead you. You lead your schedule. You open your mouth and declare, today will work for my good, because the truth is, every day doesn't come wrapped in sunshine and blessings. Some days show up heavy. Some days come with grief. Some mornings, the alarm clock sounds like a warning bell. But you got to know this. Just because the day started rough doesn't mean it won't end in victory. Just because the enemy tried to meet you at the door doesn't mean you've lost. The battle doesn't belong to the day. It belongs to the one who commands it. And you are the one who sets the tone when you wake up. Your first words ought to sound like authority. You've got to train your mouth to align with your faith, not your fear. You've got to stop rehearsing defeat before you've even stepped into the arena. You don't wait until you feel good. You speak good. You don't wait until everything goes right. You decide that no matter what goes wrong, this day is going to serve your purpose. Say it out loud. Today is working for my good. Say it when you got bills due. Say it when the doctor report don't look good. Say it when your kids are acting out. Your marriage feels cold. Your job feels shaky. Say it anyway. Because the word says all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. That means even the hard things, even the delays, even the betrayal, even the stuff you didn't ask for. If it hit your life, God can use it. If it got through the door, it's under divine supervision. You've got to stop judging your day by what it looks like and start declaring what it's going to produce. See, too many people wake up waiting for the day to be kind to them. But favor doesn't wait for the conditions to be perfect. Favor shows up in chaos. You can have the worst forecast and still walk in fruitfulness if you open your mouth and speak to the storm. We've got to be bold enough to talk back to your trouble and say, I don't care how you came. I know how this ends. And it ends with me walking in peace. It ends with me gaining wisdom. It ends with me moving forward stronger than I started. Some of us have been living on defense too long. We're always reacting, always adjusting, always dodging what life throws at us. But you've got to flip the script. You've got to stop letting the day dictate your posture. You walk into that boardroom like you belong there. You walk into that school like you're an assignment. You walk through your house like you are the thermostat, not the thermometer. You don't reflect the temperature of your surroundings. You set it. And even when nothing around you seems to line up, still speak it. Speak it through tears. Speak it through disappointment. Speak it when you've got more questions than answers. Speak it when you're driving in silence and your heart is heavy. Speak it when you're walking alone but believing for better. Because your words are like seeds. And the more you plant, the more you grow. What you say in the morning becomes the fruit you eat by evening. You've got to understand, your day listens to you. The universe responds to faith. Heaven moves when you speak with belief. So stop rehearsing defeat and start commanding the outcome. Don't let your day bully you. Don't let your feelings drive you. Don't let the past predict what this day can become. You've got brand new mercies. You've got fresh grace. You've got another chance. And sometimes that's all you need. Don't wait for things to look better before you believe they get better. Speak it before you see it. Speak it until you see it. Because sometimes what God is doing is buried under what life is doing. But it's still working. It might not look like it yet. It might not feel like it. But God's hand is still on it. And when his hand is on it, it's only a matter of time before you see the purpose in what looked like a problem. So don't just live the day, lead it. Don't just survive it, speak over it. Declare the direction before the wind even blows. Wake up with your shoulders back and say, I don't know what today holds, but I know who holds me. And no matter what I face, no matter what comes up, this day is going to bless me before it's done. Today will work for my good. Now listen to me carefully, because this is the truth that will change how you carry yourself every morning. You have what it takes. You hear me? You have everything inside of you that you need to face whatever comes your way today. It doesn't matter how many times you've been knocked down. It doesn't matter how many times you failed or felt weak. Inside of you is a reservoir of strength, a power source that can't be drained by circumstance or opinion. It's time you start speaking that truth over yourself. Far too many people wake up feeling like they're not enough, like the weight of the world is bigger than their capacity, like the mountain before them is too tall to climb. But that's a lie. You were made to carry the load. You were made to endure the pressure. You were made to stand when others fall. You were made to shine when the world wants to see you dim. You were created with power, power to overcome, power to persevere, power to rise again and again. This strength isn't something you find on a shelf. And it's not something you borrow from somebody else. It's not about having the right resources or the perfect conditions. Your strength is built into your spirit. It's the fire inside that refuses to go out. It's the divine spark that says, I am more than my circumstances. When you wake up each morning, tell yourself this: I have what it takes. Say it not just because it sounds good, but because it's true. Say it because no matter how you feel, you are equipped, you are prepared, you are enough. Even when the day ahead looks intimidating, even when your problems seem overwhelming, say it loud enough to shake the foundations of fear. I have what it takes. And hear this: strength is not the absence of struggle. Strength is moving forward despite struggle. Strength is not always about physical power. Sometimes the strongest thing you can do is to keep showing up, to keep believing, to keep trusting when the evidence around you says otherwise. It's resilience, it's perseverance, it's grace under pressure. Strength is standing in the fire and refusing to be burned. You may have faced storms that left you feeling broken, but brokenness is not weakness. It's where strength is born. The strongest trees grown in the harshest winds. The strongest warriors are forged in the fiercest battles. Every setback you've been through is not a sign of defeat. It's a sign that you're being prepared. So stop shrinking from your challenges and start rising to meet them. Sometimes you feel like you don't have the strength to keep going because you're looking at your own limits. But I want you to remember that you don't have to rely on your own strength alone. There's a power available to you that goes beyond your human ability. When you feel weak, that's when real strength can show up. Because strength often reveals itself most clearly in moments of weakness. So when you wake up, I have what it takes. You're not just giving yourself a pep talk. You're igniting a fire. You're telling your spirit to rise, telling your heart to beat courage, telling your mind to refuse to give up. Look in the mirror and say it with conviction. Walk into your day knowing you are equipped for every challenge. You were not made to be a casualty of life's battles. You were made to be a conqueror. You don't break, you build. You don't quit, you conquer. You don't fold, you fight. This is your moment to claim the strength that has been inside you all along. So every morning, remind yourself boldly, clearly, and unshakably, I have what it takes. You know, there's a difference between just going through the motions and truly walking in purpose. And if you're honest with yourself, some mornings you wake up and you say this: I am strong, I am resilient, I am full of grace. Speak it not just for today, but for every day that tries to tell you otherwise. Speak it for every person who's doubting you, for every obstacle that's trying to block your way. Declare your strength out loud like it's a shield around you, because it is. And don't forget, strength also means knowing when to rest, when to seek help, when to lean on others. Strength isn't about doing everything alone. True strength knows when to say, I need you, and that takes even greater courage. So don't be ashamed to reach out, to ask for support, or to take time to heal. That is part of the strength God put inside of you. You've got greatness inside of you, waiting to be unleashed. Don't let fear, doubt, or past failures hold you back. When you remind yourself each morning, in that trap, doing what you have to do, not what you were made to do. You get dressed, you show up, you put on a smile, but inside, there's this restlessness, this feeling like something's missing. And that's because you're living on routine, not purpose. And I'm here to tell you this morning, it's time to align your life with your calling, to live with intention, to recognize that every single day is not just another day, it's another opportunity to walk in the destiny that was designed just for you. Purpose is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It's what makes your life more than just a series of events. It's what turns your pain into power and your struggle into strength. When you wake up each morning, you got to ask yourself, am I living for the approval of people, or am I living for the approval of my purpose? Because the moment you decide to walk in purpose, every challenge, every detour, every setback takes on a new meaning. It's no longer a roadblock. It becomes part of the journey. You start to see that even the difficult days are shaping you and positioning you for the greatness that's ahead. You were never meant to live a life that is dictated by circumstances or dictated by the opinions of others. You were made to walk in the truth of who you are and what you were called to do. And when you embrace that truth, your life begins to have a direction, a focus that pulls you forward. You're no longer just reacting to what life throws at you. You're moving intentionally with faith and confidence because you know where you're going. Purpose gives you the courage to say no to things that don't